For those of you who wanted me to be more blunt about my quote-unquote hatred for England in my previous video, you wanted me to be more like the Scots and more open about my hatred for England rather than brushing it all under the carpet and just pretending that I'm not biased. For those of you who wanted that, here's my immediate reaction after the game last night. Hope you enjoy. Hello guys, how are you getting on? My name is Aaron Kelly and welcome to another Euro 2020 video, the final Euro 2020 sit-down video that I'm going to be putting out. There will be another goal recreations episode out probably tomorrow or the next day. But Italy have done it. They have become the European champions. They have defeated England on penalties at Wembley. And it was, I was going to say a great game, but it wasn't really, was it? I said in my last video that there was absolutely no doubt that Italy and England were the best two sides in this tournament and were fully deserved to be in the final. And I still stand by that 100%. So there was a lot riding on this final, a lot of anticipation building up to it. And England got off to the perfect start when Luke Shaw fired in a volley, getting in on the end of that Kieran Trippier cross inside 2 minutes, and it was an ideal start for England. Absolutely blew the fucking roof off Wembley. A lot of people were once again criticising or definitely questioning Southgate's decision to bring it back to 5 at the back, bringing the likes of Trippier back. But to be honest, in that first 10 minutes in particular, I was really scared for Italy because England were just overloading them. Like, Di Lorenzo really struggled on the likes of Shaw and Mount. They were doubling up on him. Up the other side, you had Sterling and Trippier doubling up on Emerson, so he had a really tough time of it in the opening stages as well. And then England just stopped for some reason. I don't know why. I really don't know why. They really let Italy back into the game. Let's be honest, they really did. They started sitting back, and I really didn't think Italy were going to be able to break them down because they were always strong enough defensively anyway, and then you had two realistically mostly defensive-minded midfielders there in Calvin Phillips and Declan Rice, so I didn't see any way past England for Italy. But the goal finally came in the second half, and it was the scrappiest of scrappy goals that Italy could ask for. A corner comes in, Chiellini kind of flicks one on, Mason Mount loses a header to Marco Verratti, it hits the post, and Leonardo Bonucci is there to absolutely bundle it over the line to bring Italy level. And really they were the only side between then and the end of the 90 minutes that looked like they were going to score. They had a couple more chances. There was another big incident involving Jorginho and Jack Grealish. It was definitely a questionable tackle by Jorginho. Was it a red card? I've seen them given, certainly. Very much up to the referee, but I've certainly seen them kind of tackles given. Like, he actually wins the ball first, Jorginho, but he goes over it and fully stamps down on Jack Grealish. It was terrific shithousery, it really was. Towards the end of the game then, England kind of pressed and looked like they might snatch one towards the end. There was a few very nervy moments in there for Italy towards the end. Sterling at one stage runs into the box and actually goes down under a touch from Bonucci. I think it was Bonucci anyway, and it wasn't that much different to the one that was given against Denmark the other night, which I still don't think is a penalty anyway. A lot of people argue with me in the comments.
You're not as fast as Sterling, so you don't know what speed he was going at. Any contact, he's gonna go down.
This one was actually more of a penalty, if I'm being honest. Then Chiellini got very lucky. He actually made an unbelievable tackle on Sterling as well towards the end of the game. And there was one very blatant one from Chiellini where he just drags Bukayo Saka back as if saying, no, 96th minute, you are not running by me, boy. And that was it. Extra time, and there was no goals in extra time either. There wasn't too many clear-cut chances in extra time either. I was very worried for Italy when Federico Chiesa had to go off because he was the only one that looked like creating anything. I thought Bernardeschi actually did really well when he came on as well. When it went to extra time, I see nothing other than penalties going on here because neither sides really looked like they were ready to, I was going to say commit too many bodies forward, but I remember in extra time fucking Giorgio Chiellini doing an absolute overlap at one stage, which was ridiculous. But again, Italy looked more likely to score in extra time, and they didn't. Penalties it was. Chiellini opted to not use any scare tactics on Harry Kane like he did on Jordi Alba in the semi-final, which I'm sure Kane was delighted to see that. First up for Italy was Berardi, and he scored, and Harry Kane went first for England, who also buried it into the bottom corner, typical Harry Kane style. He missed one in the semi-final. There was no way he was going to miss this one. It was probably a good idea for him to take it to get England off to the best possible start. Harry Kane's going to score 9 times out of 10 when it comes to a penalty. Belotti steps up next for Italy, and he has his penalty saved by Jordan Pickford. And every single penalty that was missed in this show, and really throughout the whole Euros, very decent height for a keeper, nowhere near the corner really, not an awful lot of conviction in the strike, and Belotti's miss was no different. Speaking of convincing strikes, Harry Maguire stepped up next for England, and he absolutely rattles it into the top corner. Like, I was not expecting that from Harry Maguire whatsoever. Bonucci steps up next for for Italy, and the all-reliable head, as he did in the semi-final, buries his penalty. And up next was Marcus Rashford. Now, it's an important point to note that just before the end of extra time, Gareth Southgate brings on Marcus Rashford and Jadon Sancho, who hadn't played the whole game, literally brought them on for penalties. And I think there is a lot that can be said for bringing two players on at that late stage just for penalties. Like, it's not the easiest mentally to be in the right place at that point, especially in with such a pressurized kick and you haven't played all game. This is going to be probably your one and only contribution to the game. Marcus Rashford steps up, he does his little stutter, he stops, waits for Donnarumma to move, sends him the wrong way, but hits the outside of the post as Italy are let off the hook for that Belotti miss. Bernardeschi had a chance to put Italy back in front, and he did exactly that. And as I said, up next was Jadon Sancho, and he also missed a very similar penalty to, I think, Belotti's miss. Again, like Rashford does the little stutter, misses, Donnarumma saves it, and Italy had the chance to win it. And Jorginho stepped up once again, the coolest, most composed man on the pitch, as he was in the semi-final. We know how good his penalties are. Would you have put your house on him to finish that? I'm sure most people would have. But Jorginho missed. He did the hop, skip and jump. Pickford guessed right, tipped it onto the post, saved it for England, and they now had the big chance to get themselves back into the game, but they couldn't afford to miss. It's a massive, massive kick. So who did they send up? Bukayo Saka. 19-year-old Bukayo Saka with the most pressurised penalty kick that England as a nation have had to go through since 1966, so let's be honest. Saka steps up, goes right at the goal, Donnarumma guesses right, saves it, and Italy win the Euros. And honestly, they fully deserved it. Like, apart from going one down inside 2 minutes, and then England really had a chance to kick on inside the first 10 minutes, they didn't. And from that moment on, Italy absolutely battered England. Battered them. I felt so sorry for Bukayo Saka to be put into that situation. Like, he must have put himself up for it. Surely Southgate hasn't gone, right, you 19-year-old kid, like, you've got to take this penalty now. Surely Saka has volunteered himself, but for me, lads, Raheem Sterling has taken penalties before. Okay, Jack Grealish hasn't taken one in like 2 years for Aston Villa, but Bukayo Saka's never taken a penalty for Arsenal or England, and you put that kind of pressure on the shoulders of a 19-year-old kid who, in the age of social media, you know is going to get absolute abuse. And he did, and so did Jadon Sancho, and so did Marcus Rashford. And can I just say, to those people who abuse those three lads on social media, you are the literal scum of the earth. I hope you know that. But the three penalties weren't great, and overall, the performance from England just wasn't good enough. I don't think they deserved to win this final at all. Italy were by far the better side, show far more bravery. England's plan once they went in front was to literally just sit behind the ball from maybe the 10th minute on. That was never ever going to work. I don't care how good your defence is. That is a long time for any defence to hold out. And to be fair to Italy, it took them a while to prise them open, but when they did, it was a scrappy goal, but they managed to do it, and they managed to create a couple of more really good opportunities as well. But they fully deserved it, and we said it from match day one that these are definitely massive contenders for this European Championship. 100% Italy, and they showed incredible bottle. I'm so happy for the likes of Leonardo Bonucci, Giorgio Chiellini, who it might be their last Euros because they're getting on quite a bit at this stage. Unbelievable performers. Like, when you have so many standout performers, as did England, let's give credit where it's due, it says a lot about the team. Roberto Mancini had them playing some unbelievable football. They were brave, they were tenacious, and I couldn't be more happy for them. Commiserations to England, obviously, and all my England subscribers that watch these videos and all that kind of crack. There's a lot of England fans I genuinely feel sorry for after last night, but yeah, it was quite funny at the time, I can't lie. That's where I'm going to wrap it up, lads. Make sure you do leave a like on the video if you did enjoy. Goal recreations coming out hopefully tomorrow or the next day, so make sure you are subscribed for that. Leave a like if you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed all the videos throughout the Euros, and I will catch you later.